Ross, with Jesse Hogan out of the side, obviously, is Cam McCarthy likely to take that forward line spot straight back in the side?
Yeah, it's more than likely, I would think. He played really well on the weekend, is my understanding. So, and in the last couple of weeks, and his work rate has been high, and he's been working on his forward craft, for want of a better term. So, yeah, it's more than likely we'll have our first match committee later today and have a look at it. But it was a strong performance appeal, so a number of guys put up a performance on the board for us to consider. So, and then the other one, Stephen Hill, is out as well, so that's two. And there's potentially going to be three with Michael Walters. So obviously we're really relieved he got off. A sharp reminder for all of us not to put ourselves at risk. Availability is really important. So it's difficult losing players with injury, but that's part of it. But we certainly want to keep our strong disciplines, even though, and we do it too, you always try and give the opposition best more attention, like accountability. So you just got to keep your cool.
That message to the players today, we can't afford reports when we've got injuries galore.
Yeah, really, really pertinent, and I'll reiterate that again during the week to them. So we're very, very strong, I think, in that area of lack of reports. I think I'm not sure where we sit on the table, but we'd like to continue that.
What's your thoughts on Adam Chera as well coming in?
Yeah, as I said, he put up a good performance. He was unlucky to go out, so we'll have a look at the team. We need to look at Carlton. I think it's going to be wet, so we've got to look at the size and shape of the team and the run that is required.
Jesse, we just saw him jump in the lift and he had a moon boot on and it's a TBA on the injury list. Have you got a timeline for him?
No, I think it's still TBA. He's in a cam walker. They just immobilise the foot. You see that quite often throughout the AFL, and I think they'll be on for 4 or 5 days, take it off, and then see how the midfoot sprain has settled down, and then they'll make their assessments from there. We're hoping it will move along relatively quickly, so I can't really add much more than that, but from my point of view, I want him back sooner rather than later, obviously.
So we'll play again this year, there's no fear of that?
No.
Do you think it is just a couple of weeks, or how long do you have an idea?
Yeah, as I said, it's sort of to be advised. I'm in the hands of, it gets handed over to our doctors, physios and conditioning team. So they'll know more once it comes out of the boot in 4 days. So we did that to Rory Lobb, and Peter Bell and I had an internal discussion on it last night, because there's a thirst for, which is good because we've got members and partners that want to know the extent of injuries, and there's a real demand, and we work closely with you guys to get it out to the marketplace. But there's a danger in going off too early, because there was a lot of noise around Rory and it was season ending, but once you gather all the facts and they have a true assessment, it becomes a few weeks. So that's where we're at, and that's why I'm reluctant, because I'm not equipped with it yet. We're still figuring it all out. It's not as simple as scan and we know. I think we've seen it at other clubs as well. They've got to work their way through the initial stages.
How is Rory going on that recovery?
Yeah, really strongly. So he's progressing. Whatever the time frame was, I think he'll meet it.
Just on Stephen Hill, do you go a bit cautious with him now that he's only played one and a bit games for the year?
Well, I can't be any more cautious than we have. He's only played one game for the year and we're in round 15, so that would speak to caution. So he's done a minor grade 1. He tried to kick the ball out of the air. It's not uncommon, they miss it, and a little tweak. But it's disappointing for Stephen. He's trying to prove up his durability. But fortunately it wasn't that quad that had been the long-term concern. So in some ways it might help the quad, because we were still a bit nervous about that, and he's probably been a bit hesitant on his kicking. He didn't take that shot from 40 metres out when we passed inside 50 in the second quarter, which probably talks to he's still a little bit concerned about it probably.
Can you tell us a bit about Carlton and how they've changed their style of game, or have you noticed it?
Yeah, it's, as I said, we're still getting to it. I finished the review yesterday. The obvious thing is they're moving the ball a bit quicker, they're flowing, they're probably taking a few more risks, and their midfield's been really strong. Cruiser and Cripps have led them to victory, and Kernow's We all saw his positional and his running pattern change. So they're the most obvious ones, but they're playing with a real spirit and a determination. So from our end, though, we want to improve our football. We're disappointed we didn't get it done on the weekend. There's still an opportunity in the last quarter to get it done. We want to be better than what we were, and we've got our destiny in our own hands. We're in a position, we'll have really good availability still with challenge, but we'll see our team's desire in front of our home crowd on the weekend, how hungry we are to improve our football.
How's Harley going as well with that recent injury?
Yeah, I think that's to be advised. Our understanding is a significant calf injury, whether it's season-ending or not. We're still working our way through that, so that's disappointing. He was really coming to hand, but as I said in the previous weeks, there was some trepidation about his return, so we knew he needed some more work. Unfortunately, in a sense, that's been validated.
I guess how devastating was hearing that news coming in over the weekend that it was calf again, and after spending so much time with Harley.
Yeah, very upsetting. Feel for Harley, but it is what it is, and we've got to work and deal with the fact.
How are his spirits, Ross, after another setback?
Yeah, he's realistic. He understands it's disappointing, but he's probably been disappointed and kicked around enough that he's built a real resilience, and he's had to build that because there's been a lot of things written and said about Harley that have been inaccurate, and he's always continued to forge ahead and pave his way for the God-given talent he's got. It's incredibly frustrating because clearly he'd be one of the highest performers in the AFL, but it's not to be at the moment.
Ross, you've been one of his strong supporters, and
still am.
And guessing in your voice, you're a little emotional about where he's at the moment and what stands ahead.
No, I'm not emotional. I'm just always caring, particularly for my players. So yeah, it's a moot point. I don't deal in the hypothetical. We're just putting our arms around him, mapping out a rehab plan, and keeping Harley close because it is devastating, but all we can do is support and guide, so that's what we'll be aiming to do.
You touched on it just earlier in the presser about Michael Walters and the caution about not getting suspended, but how good is it to have him available this week? How important is it for the side with the injuries that are there?
Really pleasing. He's a prime mover, and I prefer him playing than not playing.
You tag Cripps this week. We've seen when he's had 4 games, they've gone really poorly. What's your attitude towards how you approach him?
Yeah, we haven't tagged all year, but we certainly want to have it in the toolbox, that capability. He's a great player, isn't he? He's an inspirational leader for them. He's carried a huge load for his club, but now plenty of jumping on board, so we understand it's a significant challenge on the weekend.